Welcome to the Decades Reloaded community podcast, the Mental Health Mixtape, where we will be talking all things mental health related in every aspect of life, connecting with local communities and fitness professionals. We're here to start the conversation around mental health and make a difference. So join us, take a listen and be part of the conversation.
Hi Lucy.
Welcome to the Decades Reloaded community podcast, the Mental Health Mixtape. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
Good. I'm very well, thank you. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today. I think I say this to everyone at the moment, but we've just got the most amazing guests who have kindly given up their time to come and join us on the Mental Health Mixtape. And you really are quite an amazing, inspiring young woman. So
I like that young. I'm not that young.
Absolutely. We're only ever as old as we feel, Sam. I'm still 21 up here. I don't know about you.
I've been going since 40. I've been going backwards.
Brilliant. That's the only way to go. Turning back the clock. We do it in decades all the time.
Turn back time.
Absolutely. Oh, now I've got share if I could turn back time. Some moments just call for share. So well, what a start to bring you on already. Just for our listeners who don't know who Sam James is, one, I don't know where on earth they've been if they're in the fitness industry, but for the rest of our community, just tell us a little bit about you and your background.
So I'm Sam. I run my brand called Inclusive Fit. So I qualified over a decade ago. Quite ironically on the Decade Creative podcast.
Absolutely.
No, I actually qualified because I qualified basically through I gained an injury, I cracked a bone in my shoulder joint I got injured through a fitness class. And through the recovery, I had physio for 6 months. It didn't do a lot. But then I got in the gym with a PT, and within 2 weeks, I was virtually seeing results that I've never seen anywhere else. But I kept going to the gym, and the more I kept going to the gym, I got cerebral palsy, and my cerebral palsy was improving. My balance was improving, and just everything about me was improving. So I was falling over less, I could walk further, and I was just more happier in myself. So I would get with my disability, with anyone with a disability can have a higher rate of mental health issues, because the life is harder for us anyway. So things like anxiety just dropped straight away the more I exercised. And then I discovered Zumba. I always wanted to dance, but because I was younger, no dance school would take me because of my disability, or they'll put me in with 3 to 4 year olds when I was like 8 or 9, and I just felt so uncomfortable in the class when I was with people that I couldn't really communicate with because I was at a completely different mental age to them. So when Zumba came out, I said, yes, I can finally dance. Woo!
Absolutely.
And I went to a few classes with my mum. My mum hated it, but I loved it. I continued going.
What a mum!
I know. I just continued going, and then one day when I was looking at my PT, he said, "Oh, have you thought about doing this for a job?" I said I had, but at the time people around me put me off, saying you can't do this with a disability. But he said, yeah, you can. You'll be really great at motivating and getting disabled people working out when it can actually benefit them. So I asked him what qualifications I needed to get into the industry to work with disabled people. He told me, but when I was Googling it, up prop to destructibility, he at the time trained disabled people for free to work in the industry. So I did my level 2 gym course, my level 3 exercise and disability qualification. I had a 3-month work experience I had to do at my local gym, which I did at my gym. So they let me do it. And I did that. I passed it all, did that. Then I actually got taken on through like a casual. And then in time, I started working on the exercise referral scheme. Then I worked on the disability sports project. and I worked on that for 10 years. And I've just been made redundant from that role. So literally for 10 years, I was a coach, I was a project manager. So I ended my sort of time there as project manager, so to speak. So I've seen the whole circle and everything. So, and with my business, I set it up so that I've always felt disabled people were always told to go to a separate class with disabled people. Yeah, if you've got a physical disability, you are all okay up here. So why would I go to a class aimed at those with a learning disability when I'm not going to get nothing out of it? I need a proper, like, a fitness class, and a mainstream fitness class. Yeah, and all disabled people always seem to be turned away, filtered away from them. I was in my gym the only disabled person in the classes. And I was like, this isn't right. This should not be. This is wrong, in my opinion. If you've got a physical disability, you want to be treated exactly the same as those without any disabilities. It's not our fault our bodies work in a slightly different way. So I was like, I set up Inclusive Fit so that all my classes are for everyone. So regardless if you're non-disabled, disabled, whatever your condition is, you can come, have a workout that is at your own pace. And I've been going for 10 years, just over 10 years now, and I love it. So yeah. But I'm also working in the, as you know, Lucy, I work in the industry to try and make sure that the industry is more inclusive and accessible to disabled people, training up instructors, I tutor the disability qualification, so that, and also at the moment trying to make events more accessible and inclusive to disabled people, because at the moment they're not, and it's, you can see that by lack of disabled people that attend them.
Yeah. Okay, so many questions. Obviously, we're here predominantly to talk about mental health, but for an instructor teaching a mainstream fitness class who hasn't done a qualification in working with clients with disabilities, say for example cerebral palsy, so they know nothing about cerebral palsy, because let's face it, like, a lot of instructors, especially new instructors or young instructors, won't have had exposure to information about cerebral palsy or met anyone with cerebral palsy. So you walk into their class because the class should be okay for everybody to participate in, which I wholeheartedly agree with. As you know, my mum had fibromyalgia, and one of the reasons that I wanted to teach fitness was to create spaces where people like her felt that they could go and do exercise without being worried that the instructor wouldn't understand. So, but you walk into a class where the instructor doesn't understand. What could they do? Because they haven't done a qualification, but they don't want to exclude you. So what could they do to make that class more inclusive without unintentionally discriminating against you?
Okay, first of all, if it's a class, like a group class, an instructor, you push really to check their insurance to make sure they are like insured to have them. If it's a group class, normally if it's just one person, you're okay. You know, normally. I know EMD said it normally is okay. It's when it's a special, you can't teach a specialist class without the qualification.
And so that's really important. I'm glad you said that, because insurance is a lot of the reason why instructors are told not to work with clients with disabilities. They're not necessarily, for anybody who is listening who has felt discriminated when they've attended a class and been told that they can't join in, just to make them aware that actually the instructor may not be insured for you to be there, and it is not them purposely excluding you from their class. They want you there. They want to help everyone, because let's face it, most of us do. That's why we do this. We want to help as many people as possible, and it brings us joy and happiness. And turning someone away is the complete polar opposite of that. But if their insurance doesn't cover them to instruct
me, for example,
in their class, then that's what we need in the industry, isn't it? To deeper understand, and we need to make sure that the first thing we do when we train train and get insurance is to speak to our insurance company and say, look, if someone walks into my mainstream class, what conditions are there?
But also, it's also when there's some conditions that you can't work with without exercise referral. So if they've had like cardiac conditions, if they've got breathing conditions, even little basic things like arthritis, you've got to be very careful of. So that's where you need to check your insurance. But cardiac and respiratory, especially because with cardiac, there is like the cardiac phase 4 training that they have to go to before they are out in the community. And it's knowing about all the different things that could go wrong with those conditions. And it's not just ringing it. A lot of instructors will ring it. You can't ring it. And it's about knowing any condition. It's about researching that condition. But before you research it, speak to that individual. So if I came to your class, Lucy, you go, Sam, tell me about your CP. How does it affect you? What do you want to get out of coming to my class? What is your barriers for coming to my class? Do you need to seat at the side? Do you need to seat, like, can you stand up at the seat behind you? Do you need to go at the front, at the back, at the side? It's just asking every question known to man that you can think of at that moment in time. I know sometimes instructors want to go blank at that moment in time. If someone came to your class and said, I got a bad knee, you would ask them exactly the same questions. And it is educating instructors that because someone's got a disability doesn't mean that they're not it means that some people think you've got a disability, you're not okay up here. They think you've got some sort of disability, and that's not the case at all. And it's just educating instructors that the way they talk to the client, how they communicate with the client, extract the information from that client. Because if you have me come to your class and then someone else turned up at the same type of CP as me, we'll both be completely 100 times different. We'll be at different ends of the spectrum, because each disability affects everyone completely differently. So it's not assuming, oh, I've got Sam's CP, I know what to do. If that client could be in a wheelchair, might not be able to use 4 limbs, they might have to, or can use 2 limbs, but not the other 2 limbs, or their balance might be affected slightly differently. So it's really grilling that person in a nice, friendly way, but also knowing that any disability, you'll know this, it can be fluctuating. So I see Lucy at her worst when she's on the low, shall I say? And I think Lucy could be seeing me at my worst, and I'm like walking everything. And it's knowing that like 1 week they could do a whole class perfectly well, or whatever you're doing with them, but the next week they might struggle to do 2 songs. But it's understanding that each condition's got this like fluctuating curve to it. So, and it also depends what they've got going on in their life. If they're female, does their period affect them even more? They get more fatigued by being on every month. And there's things to think about.
That is massive. So I actually cancelled classes this weekend, and I hardly ever cancel classes because to rewind slightly, and then we'll come back to the women's cycle. So you were saying about not only fluctuations, but also everybody's disability is different. So you could have someone in your class with a hidden disability.
Yeah.
Myself, so hidden that I don't even really refer to it as a disability. Generally, I just call it a health condition. You have seen me fresh off of stage, hoodie on, shivering when everyone else in the room is hot, just wanting pizza. Just because I was all available to eat anyway, because there's no way I was going to go out of Alton Towers and try and find food. I just wanted to and it got to a point where my conversation wasn't even a conversation anymore, and I wasn't really absorbing anything. You were in your own little complete shutdown. And that wasn't even at its worst. And so then most people wouldn't realize that about me because they don't see that. They see
before that, I've not seen that side of you. So in a way, for me, I know I have clients with the same condition as you, but you don't see them behind closed doors, and you only see that public persona. So I've only ever seen you like as you are now, or like on stage, like jumping around, being a hyperactive bunny. Yeah, I'm not.
And everyone says to me, "I love your energy," and I'm like, "You haven't not seen me when I am not adrenaline fueled with endorphins just bouncing out of my skin. So, when it crashes, so
but
it did crash.
that's the fluctuating part of your condition. You're good, but when you're low, you're low.
And even now, so I cancelled classes Sunday and I cancelled some of my classes Monday because I was supposed to be teaching Decade Reloaded H2O, which is our water-based Decade Reloaded class. But I know that my condition is really severely affected by the humidity on poolside. And recently the temperature's gone up in the pool environment where I teach it. And it's the only place I teach it because it wasn't that humid in there, but it's got hotter. So I covered that class because putting all the equipment in and out of the bag causes me loads of problems. And it was actually my hands, my wrists and my elbows that were hurting the most. I felt like a couple of double deckers had run them over. And the fatigue was so bad, I thought that everything inside my body had just left. And I was like, okay, so I can't, well, I covered that with someone else. And I really rarely do that. I would say I'm still in a flare up now. But as I'm coming towards the end of the cycle, it's getting less and less. But I get fatigue. But then with my cycle, I also don't sleep properly. So then it makes it worse. So today, even though you say I seem fine, I still really hurt. And I still feel very, like my battery is probably on about 30%, because I used all that I had in my 2 classes last night, and I was on a mental health training yesterday. Came home in between and barely keep my eyes open.
You wiped out your brain.
Yeah, it is, but you can't tell.
No, and it's the same for me. So that I know I'm like you. I don't cancel unless I'm like dying, basically. Or I can't. Like, it's my back. When I hit my back last year, I did my back last year, and I couldn't get out of bed. That's when I couldn't teach. I literally thought, I can't get out of bed. I struggle to get to the toilet. And Mum goes, "Oh, why don't you go and teach it? Shut down." I said, "Mum, I've got to get to the car, get in the car, drive there. It's half an hour away. Get out the car, walk in. That's the bit I can't do."
Yeah.
And so I was off for 6 months, and I hate doing it, and I hate cancelling because I always think, here's my ladies come to my class because it's me, and they know that if I can do it, they can do it. If they've got like different conditions as well, so they know. And I'm the only instructor they go to for that reason. They know, oh, Sian can do it. She gives me the motivation, I can do it, and that's how they come. And probably similar for you as well. So, but it's the fact that even when I'm fatigued, no one will know I'm fatigued because I look fine, but I'm going to be just wiped out. It's like when I'm on, when I first come on, I am so tired, I could sleep for days.
It's awful, isn't it?
And I wish, and it's the fact is that I normally have to tone down what I'm doing, try not to do so much at the first couple of days. Towards the end of the week, I'm fine, but at the start, I'm just like a zombie walking around. But people can't tell that because I hide it quite well. And even I get pain every day with my CP in my back. I've got back condition, but you'll never know because I hide it extremely well. I just get on with it because I've got no other choice but to get on with it.
Yeah. Do you know what my mother-in-law said to my partner the other day? He was talking about because I brought the family to Ribby to Project Fit. And so he was telling her about that. And she had said to him, well, this is what he told me anyway. How does she do all of it? How does she actually do it all? And he was like, honestly, Mum, I don't know. She just gets on with it.
You do. That's what we do.
You do. You just what's the alternative? Just give up and stop doing anything and stop moving. Like exercise literally saved my life. Why would I stop now?
And
use it or lose it.
And also, for certain conditions, it's not for all conditions with disabilities, but for most conditions and most disabilities, exercise is vital for that condition. I know for cerebral palsy, exercise is vital. So that if I don't move, I'll get worse and stiffer. And literally, because I was shut down for 6 months with my bad back, and I was announced I was banned from exercise by my private consultant. He was like, "No, you're resting." Every month.
How did that make you feel? That must have been.
Oh, it was. I tell you, so every month, his mum was there going, "She wants to get back to work. She wants to get back." He's like, "No, another 4 weeks of rest." I'm like, oh, and it's literally because I was at home, I couldn't do a lot. And I know some of my friends did take me out every now and then, but that was such an effort for me because I was struggling to walk. The pain, I didn't understand how intense nerve pain is. You can't explain nerve pain until you've had nerve pain, but you still can't explain it because it's the most intense pain you'll ever have in your life. And to literally have pain virtually down, like from my lower back right down to the foot every day, like it was like, but it was just such a lonely experience because I was at home all day, every day, saying get up, sit down, watch TV because I'm being told to do nothing. I signed off work, and literally, apart from a few friends messaging me, you just got, I just have my mum, my family, and that is it. And you are in like your own little bubble of this is so lonely. This is so lonely.
So how would you say then, whilst you were out of action, how would you say that impacted your mental health?
I know I got very low, I wasn't myself at all. I use exercise as my own tool to help combat, to make me happier, to keep me calm, basically. I know that I was going out with one of my friends once a week, but that was just to a local pub just to get me out the house. That's the only, apart from like appointments, I wasn't getting out the house, and I wasn't seeing many people, and you don't realise how isolating that is.
Yeah.
And and how debilitating that is to anyone, because especially when you do a job like what we do, we are sociable bunnies. We are, like, you go from one class to another class, we see people, we're getting that social interaction. So you're going from that to nothing. So it's like I've gone from this very happy person to a very quiet person because I wasn't getting, like, I love social interaction. I wasn't getting any of that social interaction. My friends all said that I completely changed in that time because, like, I don't know how to describe it. I wasn't me. It's like I wasn't me because of the pain. I was in such extreme pain that contributed to me not being me. My sense of humour changed because obviously my nervous system was like all over the shop, and and it didn't quite know how to respond. And literally, I would, like, my friends would say a joke, and they'd be like looking at me like, "Why aren't you getting that?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah.
And
would you say that your friends actually noticed before you did that there'd been a change in your mental well-being?
Probably, yeah. They did, and they were quite good at either popping in to see me, taking me out so that I got out and about. They were very good because I was quite immobile, so they were very good at, like, getting the sticks out the car, making sure that I was, like, they were next to me, making sure that no one bumped into me. And they were very good at, if we, like, where we sat in the pub, I could only sit on certain seats because of my back. I had to sit on quite a comfy seat, not too low, not too high.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge in itself. I remember going out one night, we went in the pub, and I was like, I can't sit on the seat much longer, so we moved to another seat. And I had to move to another table, but they were like, yeah, that's fine, and they kept doing it. But it is quite a very isolating thing. And I think say you are a non-disabled person, or hasn't got any, you're just a weakly healthy adult, and then say you get like sciatica, like a pain, like nerve pain, and it is quite disabling. I think your friends, those friends might not really understand what you're going through because they haven't experienced it themselves. And I'm lucky that my friends know me for quite a long time, so they know me, and they know that they know me very well. And but if that person's friends say that you got Joey, and Joey's got sciatica, can't move, can't walk, and those friends, what are they going to do? Are they going to understand that person and help take them out, help them if they need help at home, or are they going to ignore that person? Because I know from a lot of disabled people, when they get a lot of chronic pain, a lot of their friends desert them because they can't understand the pain. They don't understand why that person's changed so quickly. They can't put themselves in that situation because they just can't. They go, oh, last month or 2 months ago, you were doing this, and this. no, you can't do it. And they just can't fully understand it until it happens to them. And it happens to them, then they will be like wanting that person to help them, but they won't because they didn't help them. So, where you get some very good friendship circles that will do anything for everyone. But there's also, again, other friendship circles that until they understand what that is like, they will just move away from that person if they think they're not making an effort. But they don't understand how hard it can be to even just get out the house.
So at what point did you think, actually, do you know what? I don't feel like Sam anymore.
I think it was just like, I think it's once I was back at teaching and I just became a different person. I literally, first of all, I said, when my private consultant said, "Oh, you can go back now," I said, "Yeah." On one hand, I was like, "Yes," but on the other hand, I was a little bit nervous, like, "Oh my God, what happens if I make my back worse?" Because I just started to have physio at the same time as going back. So I was thinking, like, how am I going to go back without causing more injuries? So I had those nerves as well. But as soon as I was back teaching and I sat down teaching, I was with my crew. I was back doing what I loved, and it's just like back at home again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like somebody's just put all the Christmas lights back on.
Yeah, literally that. It was that. It was like, oh, and literally that's when I looked back.
Not cold and dark anymore.
And that's when I looked back and went, oh, I wasn't myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I was, and yeah, and I always talk about how lonely. I wrote a blog about my journey, and I talk about how lonely it was, and literally apart from like I found my family and 2 friends, and apart from the medical professionals, I didn't really see anyone.
It's amazing, isn't it, how sort of we have all these needs that need to be met to keep us in good mental health, and as soon as those needs start to taper off, we come down the continuum towards poor mental health. But as soon as you add those needs back in and they're being met again, it completely transforms how we feel, our approach to life. Everything feels a little bit more manageable again.
Even like my friends who are going, oh my God, we got Sam back again. They can see that, and they can see the importance of me teaching. It's like I was born to do it, if that makes sense. It's like that. It's not like I found that job found me, and and literally, I just can't think of not doing anything else. I just love it, and I feed off it. I think we all feed off it in some way.
We do.
That's how we do it. Not everyone can be an instructor and teach classes. It takes a certain person to do so, but I absolutely freaking love it, and literally, it showed how much positive impact it has on me, my whole health and well-being. It keeps me alive in a way. In every shape or form, it keeps me alive. And me not being able to teach is a big thing for me, because I actually had a conversation with another instructor down south, and actually it's a really interesting conversation we had. Like, we never know when our last class could be. And I said, I hope I haven't had my last class. I wasn't ready. I taught my last class. I want to be
in that. That's such a scary thought.
It was, in a way, it makes you realise that every class could be your last class, and you don't know it.
No. Oh God, I don't worry about that all the time now. So.
But now it's taught me that I've got to enjoy every class and not worry about little things. As instructors, we will worry about, God, if we've got a new routine in, whether they like it or not. All these things go through your head. And what happens if I cock up? I've got a new question and I cock up. Or what happens if I've got to sit down because my back's playing that? What will they all think? And they're all fine with it. But in head, you also have these anxieties that you never get rid of.
I think sometimes I go wrong more with my choreography because of my imagination running wild about, oh, they're not enjoying this. Oh, they don't like me. Oh, everyone seems in a really bad mood today. Oh God, what have I done wrong? Is there something on my backside that I haven't noticed? Have I torn my leggings? Oh, I really need a wee. Am I going to wet myself? And like all these things are going on. And like we were talking about this on this training actually that I've just been on. With Mid and North East Essex Mind. I went on their new mental health talk training that they got from Suffolk Mind. fantastic, by the way. If your local mind can get in contact with Suffolk Mind and get it off them, it's phenomenal. And it's very similar to a lot of the approach that we take with Decades Reloaded. And it talks about your needs being met to keep you sort of up here on the mental health spectrum rather than down, you know. And we spoke about how imagination is very, very good, but on the flip side, imagination can actually spiral into catastrophizing. And before you know it, you've gone from 0 to 100 and this giant catastrophe's happened, but you've created this whole thing in your imagination. And that's going on whilst you're trying to teach. And remember that 8 counts. Teach the current 8 counts, but teach them 4 counts ahead so they know what counts are coming next. Do it all. Try not to kill anyone. Make sure no one hurts themselves. Meanwhile, you're like, oh, can they tell I'm in pain today? Can they tell this isn't working properly? Oh, I'm not giving it my all because my elbow, like last week, my elbow's sliding out of its socket and I've got to strap it up. They must think I'm a right idiot. And
I often get worse. You'll probably get this, as you're both presenters. I often feel worse before I'm presenting because it's people I don't know. I have more anxiety presenting because I'm like, what happens if they don't get me? What happens if they don't understand my disability? What happens if they walk out because they don't realise they're having a disabled presenter? I have all these, and I'm always more nervous before I present. And you saw me before my class at Fit Jam. I was like, I was really nervous. And Mal was there. Mal was trying to like do all that. Keep breathing and you'll be fine. I said, I'll be fine once you've done the warm up. She did the warm up.
That's it. Once you get that first few minutes out of the way, it just goes. It's like you're just in a normal class, well, apart from your usual imagination running wild.
But I see it's a good thing because I think if I'm not that nervous, then there's something wrong with me because I think nerves are good to actually show your care and you care about what you're delivering and your brand and everything. And I see it as a good thing, but I do get in my ladies, like I teach tonight, I won't be nervous at all. They know me. They know if I need to sit down, I sit down. They carry on. They know that if I'm not doing something, but I'm pointing or doing hand movements or shouting out to them, they know they just got to carry on.
Yeah,
and that's it. I think when it's your own crew and you've been with them for years, they understand you as different people. You get more anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think when you go to like events of percent, I think the people that go don't understand how much anxiety we can get as presenters.
Oh, it's awful. Don't ever talk to me before I go on stage. You just get grunted at because I can't even string a sentence together. I try and do the events so that I can really talk about mental health before we start dancing and really get this message across about the importance of understanding mental health and our responsibilities as instructors and just trying to improve the narrative around it in the industry a bit more. But what I do instead is waffle a whole load of rubbish and go, should we just dance? Because I am absolutely petrified. And I just can't say anything useful. And then I tend to just follow it up after the session and things come out. But I have to get going first. And then it's terrifying.
I have to go through sheeted technique and sometimes I forget to do that because I'm so nervous every time I get going. And then it comes, and I end up correcting them after a warm up. I need them sat in the right position. But at the start of the nurse, you're like, oh.
And you're worried, don't you? They're thinking, well, you just stop talking and just get on with it. Because I'm not rude, but when other people at the sessions are like, yada, 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 I'm like, come on, can we just start? Let's just come back to you a little bit more. Well, not you per se, but so your cerebral palsy. For someone that doesn't know what cerebral palsy is, how would you wrap it up?
I always describe it. So if I take a reasonably healthy adult, like a typical instructor, nothing wrong with them at all, I'd say they're a brand new laptop. You fire that laptop up, it works straight away. Everything loads straight away. The internet comes out like that.
Sam, I think this is where I've gone wrong all this time because every time I open a laptop up, it does not work straight away.
But that's how I so then I said I'm like a 10-year-old laptop, so you open it up. It's a bit slower starting, so I'm a bit slow in the mornings and everything. And then things sometimes
like Windows 98.
Yeah, and then and then literally it's like you then like it's like the old dial-up internet, and you just wait.
I was just thinking that. I was just going. Boop, 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 boop.
and that so like so in essence CP cerebral palsy, most people see CP prefer CP because cerebral palsy doesn't really explain what the condition is. So cerebral is the brain damage, the palsy is how it affects the body, but in essence it's a movement disorder. That is what it is. So the nervous system doesn't work effectively. So like if I want to walk, it takes a while for the brain signals to go to my legs to walk. So it's my body gets a little bit slower basically at doing stuff. The muscles I got spastic diaplegia cerebral palsy, so it affects more my legs. One of my hands is affected. So I have what's called I call it, everyone with CP calls it a CP gait. So your knees come in, like you see me walk, your knees come in, and even when I squat, my knees always come in. So if I've got very tight muscles, spastic means I have very tight muscles. So it means that my muscles are always tight. So we have to do a lot to make sure that keep them looser. Constant stretching, constant strength training, constant like muscle, like massages, muscle rubs, wherever I've got every muscle rub going to put on them. It's like a constant thing that we have to do. So like if I take like a non-disabled instructor, they can just stretch out and they'll be fine. I've got to keep stretching now, or I've got to keep using the massage gun. So I've got to keep putting the muscle rub on. I've got to keep moving because the more I sit down, the tighter the muscle becomes, and the tighter the muscle becomes, the more pain I get. So it's that constant thing of like, if I sat down for 2 or 3 hours, I've got to make sure I get up and move.
Yeah.
And movement is the best thing for CP. Though it's a non-progressive condition, the aging process makes it progressive. There's an impact on our body. So the way we walk, and we can be quite heavy-footed when we walk. So the way we walk. So I had the L5-S1 bulging disc last year that caused my back issue, and that is caused by my CP and how my body moves when I walk. So the way the spine is, because it's moving a completely different way, that's why that disc sort of popped out, like rolled out, and that's why I got that. But I wasn't aware of that before I got it. It's only my private consultant that told me, oh yeah, you got this because of your CP. So literally, and it's going to happen at some point. It's just when, and I think I delayed it for as long as I possibly could because of the exercise that I do. But I couldn't delay it anymore. It's just going to happen.
So for anyone listening who might be worried about CP, is it something that you are just born with, or can you develop it later on in life?
No, so it's something that happens either at birth or just after birth. So it's normally like the baby is starved of oxygen in any shape or form. So when they stop breathing, the lack of oxygen to the brain causes that damage. So for me, I was born okay. At 9 weeks old, I had a miscot death, stopped breathing. Mum found me, resuscitated me. So in those like a minute that I was technically died, as I call it, she resuscitated me. The lack of oxygen to my brain caused the brain damage. Then obviously she took me up at the hospital. I was in a coma. And luckily she resuscitated at the right time, so that I wasn't like complex or severe. I was quite mild. So, and that's what caused my CP. So in a way, I always tell people I'm lucky because I'm on my second chance of life.
You are, and aren't you using it well?
And I always go, you know me, I go out and enjoy myself.
You do.
You only got one life, you've got to make the most of it. You don't know when any time it could end, or any time you could have that injury that could like mean that you can't live the life that you've got now. So you've always got to make sure you go out and enjoy life. And it's there's an instructor that I follow on Facebook, and she's had cancer and is getting progressively like she's going to hospice. And I've seen that she put on, this won't be my final post, but she said that one of the final words she put on there was, go out and enjoy your life, follow your dreams. And I like that, because that is true, because you need to follow your dreams. You need to do what you want to do, because at any time that becomes not an end, but it could happen that you can't do that or do what you really want to do. So, you know, if you've got that full-time job you want to scrap it and go self-employed.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
Sales, and you can go
when
back.
Life gives you lemons.
Exactly, yeah.
So you've obviously you've recently gone self-employed only after being made redundant, which can be really scary for people. And while this wasn't something I was going to particularly touch on today, redundancy can have a really severe effect on our mental well-being. It's a really scary time, isn't it? It's a massive stress. So being able to flip that feeling on its head and try and take a positive from what initially seems like a negative takes some work. So it's very scary, isn't it? And it can also be life-changing. So
I know that to start with, I was looking, I've got to get another part-time job, but then looking at part-time jobs, they didn't fit in. And I got daytime classes as well, and I'm not giving up my classes. I need them for me, for my everything like wrong with me. And I find a job, it's got to fit in around what I'm currently doing. And then I was looking, there wasn't all the part-time jobs out there, about 25, 30 hours a week. And that is just too much for me. And that's more like a full-time job, not a part-time job.
Yeah.
And then I think Mum was sort of joking, why don't you go self-employed? And I thought, actually, why don't I? What's stopping me from going self-employed? And the fact that even now I'm still looking at jobs, but there's not a lot out there, I thought, right, I'm just going to give it a go, because I've still got work, because I still got classes, I've got PT clients, and it's just building up on that. And it's so far, touch wood, it's sort of getting there. I'm still building it up, but it's having that confidence to build it up. But it's, I said to you earlier, it's also knowing that, because I come back from my back injury and I have to be very careful with my back, because I could have a relapse at any time. The fact is that I feel better in myself. I haven't got the stress like weighing me down. All my friends, I said, oh, it's like you're a completely different person. My ladies have commented how I'm happier, and I look healthier and more glowing. So I think there's something to be said about working for yourself and just taking that plunge.
Absolutely. And so before you came into fitness, what were you doing before then?
God. So first, after I went to uni, I left uni, I got jobs in like utility companies, investment banking. Then I got redundant from investment banking. Then I worked as a receptionist in the vets. You know what? It's quite a stressful environment to work in, because it's just non-stop. It's just all the time. Seeing all the animals and everything is just like, I'm a big animal lover. It's just like, oh, all the little puppies and the kittens, they sit this time of year, and everything. But it was through that, because when I was working there, I did my shoulder injury, and that's how I got into the whole exercise thing. So something completely different. Completely different industries altogether. I like you in a way. I've gone from like working for like utilities companies to investment banking to vets, a care home, and then now fitness.
That's it. Do you know what? It's such a common story for a lot of people to transition from one career and then decide that actually we just want to be poor forever and work.
And that's the thing,
because the gains emotionally are
huge.
Just for want of a better word, huge is the one. Like it's almost like it doesn't even matter if you can't pay your bills anymore, because, well, do you know what? I made a whole load of people smile tonight. No. But when you go to bed at night and you open up a message and say, honestly, I have been really struggling recently. I wasn't sure what my purpose was anymore. Thanks to you, I see the point in getting up tomorrow morning and you go,
yeah,
I am so wealthy right now.
Yeah.
But it's not from monetary gains.
It's from the emotional psychology gain. People just need to try exercise. That is to me, that's the key to mental health. The professionals will give out the drugs in that, but it's like the song says, the drugs don't always work. And it's about the actual, like, getting out there, even just exercising at home. A lot of people do online now. Join an online class. If you can't get out the house, you don't need to have a camera on. You can have the camera off. So if you've got insecurities about someone watching you or looking at you, just turn the camera off. That's fine. And just do it in your pajamas, you don't need to have to get dressed.
Absolutely.
And that's a great thing about a lot of online workouts. We don't care what the guys are wearing. They just do it their way. And the fact the more you do it, actually, the more benefits you feel from it. So, yeah.
So you have got a very, very big nomination, haven't you? Tell us what it is.
So I was nominated in the Disability Power 100. So for those that don't know, the Shield Trust do the Disability Power 100, which is the 100 most powerful disabled people in the UK. The nomination process is really...
I need to get you some confetti!
So basically, I've been shortlisted. So there was over 700 nominations. The long list is over 600, and now in the top 300. I'm in the top 350 in the UK. The nomination process is really tough. You have to list exact details of what you've done, basically, to be actually longlisted and shortlisted. So I find out in about June, July time if I've made the 100. So keep everything calm.
Can we vote for you as well, or is it done on application?
No, it's a panel of judges. So the panel of judges go through the nominations. I think they go through my social media as well. They've got all my social media accounts. So
everyone leave her reviews about how amazing she is for the disabled community. Let's help. If they're on socials, let's leave them something to read.
And so I was, obviously, when I found out, I sat here working, and I was just like doing some admin for my business, and I just got this email, and I just sat there in shock. I just like going, oh my god, have I just read this right? Like obviously I got nominated last year but didn't get anywhere with it, and I think I found out that I hadn't put in what they wanted to put in, because you've got to put in I actually told my ladies what to roughly write, because there's no way they could get, they don't really see what I do behind the scenes of the industry and that. So but yeah, I just sat here for an hour and like 2 hours, just sat in shock, literally sat in, I just couldn't believe it. I just didn't it took me about a week to soak it all in, and because it's such huge news, really. And the fact is, I'm the first, putting the sports stars and the Paralympians aside, it's actually a completely different industry. The fact I am the first fitness professional to have been nominated and made the shortlist. So, yeah. So that's pretty huge for the whole fitness industry.
That is massive. Oh, honestly, well done. That is such an achievement. To be shortlisted alone is just absolutely phenomenal. You are a complete and utter force, lady. I don't know how the rest of us are ever going to keep up with you. I really don't. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Mental Health Mixtape. I will stick your social media details and website and everything in the description underneath the video. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Good luck as well with the awards.
Thank you for having me.
So much for coming on today. Cheers, Sam.
Thank you.